You have been noticing it lately, a strange, quiet shedding of the life you used to know. It started with your social circle, then it moved into your physical space, and now it has reached the very depths of your soul. You are becoming comfortable with less. While the rest of the world is screaming for more attention, more possessions, more noise, more validation, you are retreating into a sacred silence that others mistake for loneliness. But you know better. You feel it in the marrow of your bones. This isn't a loss, it is a refinement. Think about the last few months. Have you noticed how heavy the grocery store feels? How the mindless chatter of your coworkers or family members now sounds like static on a broken radio? You find yourself sitting in your room, perhaps in the dark, or just staring out a window. And for the first time in your life, you don't feel the urge to do something. The frantic itch to stay busy has been cauterized. You are being stripped down to your essence. And though the world looks at you and sees someone who is falling behind or losing their spark, the truth is that your fire is finally becoming concentrated. You used to worry when the phone stopped ringing. You used to panic when an invitation didn't come. You used to feel a deep, aching void when you realized you had nowhere to go on a Friday night. But look at you now. You are beginning to prefer the empty chair. You are beginning to cherish the simple meal eaten in total stillness. You are finding a terrifyingly beautiful clarity in the lack of options. The less that used to scare you has become your sanctuary. Do you feel that pressure in your temples? That is the frequency of the collective trying to pull you back into the more. The matrix thrives on your hunger. It feeds on your desire for just one more thing. But you have developed a strange new immunity. You walk through the malls, you scroll through the feeds, and you feel nothing. A profound, holy boredom has taken over. You are realizing that 90% of what you once chased was actually a cage. You are realizing that the more was just a layer of dust over your third eye. Your physical body is reacting to this shift. You might be experiencing a loss of appetite for heavy foods, or perhaps you find yourself needing much more water than usual. Your skin might feel sensitive, as if you are shedding a literal layer of old identity. You are tired, yes, but it is a soul tired that sleep cannot fix. It is the exhaustion of a soldier finally laying down a heavy armor they didn't know they were wearing. The people around you are starting to notice. They ask you if you're okay. They tell you that you've changed. They look at your minimalist lifestyle, whether that's a clean room or a clean mind, and they feel a flicker of fear. They fear you're less because it reflects their too much. They see your clarity and it blinds them. You are no longer participating in the frantic dance of the hungry ghosts. You are standing still, and in that stillness, the blurry edges of your life are finally becoming sharp. The fog is lifting. You can see the traps before you step in them. You can see the lies before they are spoken. You are becoming dangerous to the system because you can no longer be bought with the currency of more. You are comfortable with less, and that makes you the most powerful person in the room. There is a reason why the world feels like it is shrinking around you, and it has nothing to do with bad luck or personal failure. It is a divine intervention. You must understand that the less you are experiencing is a deliberate clearing of the altar. In the spiritual realm, power is not measured by what you can accumulate, but by what you can exist without. The universe is stripping away the excess because your frequency has become too refined to carry the weight of the mundane. You are being moved from the broad path where the masses wander in confusion onto the narrow path where only the light can fit. Why is this happening now? It is because you have entered a phase of high vibrational calibration. Think of yourself like a high-performance engine. You cannot run on low-grade fuel, and you cannot carry unnecessary cargo if you are meant to fly. The spiritual reason for your isolation and your newfound comfort and simplicity is that your energetic field is being purged of static. Every person you used to talk to, every object you used to obsess over, and every ambition that was rooted in ego carried a specific tether. These tethers were leaking your power. By reducing the more, the divine is plugging the holes in your vessel. You are being taught the law of sacred vacuum. This law states that the divine cannot pour the new wine of your destiny into a cup that is already full of old vinegar. If your life remained cluttered with the people and things of your past, there would be no room for the massive downloads of wisdom and the new assignments that are currently being prepared for you. You feel comfortable with less because your soul knows that space is a requirement for manifestation. You are not losing your life. You are creating a landing strip for your purpose. The headaches you feel, the ringing in your ears, the sudden flashes of light or glitches you see in your peripheral vision, these are the symptoms of your DNA recoding itself to thrive in the void. Most people are terrified of the void. They fill it with television, with gossip, with toxic relationships, and with substances because the silence of the void forces them to face their own shadows. But you, the chosen one, have looked into the void and found peace. You have looked into the silence and heard the voice of the Creator. This is why you no longer feel the need to explain yourself to those who don't understand. Your soul is vibrating at a pitch that the world cannot hear, and that pitch requires a quiet environment to sustain itself. You are breaking the ancestral curse of hunger. For generations, your bloodline has likely been defined by a desperate need for survival, for accumulation, for making sure everyone else was happy so that you could feel safe. By becoming comfortable with less, you are announcing to the spiritual hierarchy that your safety no longer comes from the external world. You are declaring that your source is internal and eternal. This shift is sending shock waves through your lineage. You are teaching the spirits of your ancestors that it is okay to be still. It is okay to be enough. This clarity you feel is a weapon. In the spiritual war for your attention, your ability to be content with a simple life is your greatest defense. The enemy cannot tempt a man or woman who wants for nothing. If you do not need their applause, they cannot control you with their silence. If you do not need their riches, they cannot enslave you with their debt. You are becoming a ghost in the machine. You are in the world, but your energy is no longer of it. This less is actually the all. You are shedding the costume of the human experience to reveal the radiance of the divine spark within. While you sit in your quiet sanctuary, comfortable with your simple life and your newfound silence, something frantic is happening on the other side of the veil. You must understand that your peace is an act of war against the matrix. The world and the people still plugged into its artificial hunger cannot tolerate your contentment. Your ability to be comfortable with less is a direct threat to the narcissists, the energy vamps, and the systemic structures that once thrived on your desperation. They are watching you, and they are terrified. Have you noticed the subtle increase in check-in texts from people you haven't spoken to in months? Have you felt the sudden, unprovoked hostility from relatives or former friends who see you moving into this minimalist, clear-headed state? This is not a coincidence. They are sensing the loss of their power. To a narcissist or a puppet of the matrix, your need for more was the leash they used to lead you. When you were hungry for their approval, they could withhold it to make you dance. When you were afraid of being alone, they could threaten you with abandonment to keep you compliant. But now you have looked them in the eye and signaled that you no longer need what they are selling. The enemy's reaction to your clarity is always one of two things: sabotage or projection. They will try to convince you that you are depressed because you no longer want to party or engage in their drama. They will call you boring or tell you that you've lost your way because you've stopped chasing the empty symbols of status that they worship. Do not be fooled. This is a desperate attempt to lower your vibration back to a level where they can reach you. They are like crabs in a bucket. Your clarity is the rim of that bucket, and they are reaching up to pull you back into the muddy water of more. They are scared of you because you have become unpredictable. In the matrix, everyone has a price. Most people can be bought with a little bit of flattery, a little bit of money, or a little bit of physical comfort. But you have found the secret code. You have realized that the less you want, the more power you have. This makes you an anomaly. a glitch in their system of control. When they look at you, they don't see a person they can manipulate. They see a mirror reflecting their own hollow existence. Your silence screams at their secrets. Your simplicity exposes their clutter. Feel the shift in the atmosphere when you walk into a crowded room now. You don't have to say a word. Your energy is clean, and clean energy acts as a disinfectant. The parasites in the room will instinctively recoil. They might whisper about you behind your back, or they might try to provoke you into an argument just to see if they can get a hit of your old reactive energy. Stay in your clarity. Do not give them the satisfaction of a response. Your power over them lies in your absolute indifference to their games. The narcissists in your life are realizing that their supply has been cut off at the source. They used to feast on your confusion and your efforts to please them. Now they find only a brick wall of calm. This is why the attacks might feel more intense lately. They are starving. But notice how their arrows no longer land. They fall short, dissolving in the aura of your peace. You are witnessing the collapse of their influence in real time. By being comfortable with less, you have taken away their only weapon, the promise of enough. You have already found enough within yourself, and in doing so, you have become their master. To understand why this is happening, we must look at the higher law of divine economy. In the celestial realms, nothing is ever wasted, and nothing is ever removed without a specific mathematical purpose. You are being introduced to the great truth. The universe only subtracts when it is preparing to multiply the quality of your existence. This is the prophecy of the remnant. Throughout history, the chosen have always been led into the wilderness, not to die, but to be stripped of the world's illusions so they could finally hear the blueprint of their true destiny. The theological truth of your situation is that you are undergoing a sanctification of the mind. Most people live in a state of mental fragmentation. Their energy is scattered across 1,000 different desires, worries, and social obligations. Because their energy is spread so thin, it has no piercing power. They are like a light bulb that illuminates a room but cannot burn through a piece of paper. You, by becoming comfortable with less, are becoming a laser. You are concentrating your consciousness into a single sharp point of divine intent. This is the clarity the world fears. When your mind is no longer cluttered with the debris of the matrix, your thoughts begin to manifest with frightening speed. This is the hidden mystery of the void. In ancient spiritual traditions, the seeker had to give up their worldly attachments to reach enlightenment. But you didn't choose to go to a monastery. The monastery came to you. The universe has orchestrated your life to remove the distractions because you have reached a level of spiritual maturity where you can handle the raw power of the unseen. You are being initiated into the order of the Melchizedek, the priesthood of the self-sufficient. You are learning that the Creator does not reside in the more of the material world, but in the less of the spirit. Think of the law of vibration. Low vibrational entities and systems require complexity to survive. They need fine print, hidden agendas, and layers of bureaucracy. High vibrational truth, however, is always simple. It is yes or no. It is light or dark. By simplifying your life, you are aligning your personal frequency with the frequency of the divine. You are moving out of the gray areas where the enemy hides. This is why your intuition has become so sharp lately. Because there is less noise in your life, you can hear the smallest whisper of your guardian angels. You can feel the shift in a room the moment you enter. You are no longer guessing, you are knowing. The prophecy for your life is one of total sovereignty. You are being groomed to lead others through the coming collapses of the old systems. When the world's more eventually fails, when the currencies devalue, when the social structures crumble, and when the noise becomes unbearable, the masses will be in a state of absolute terror. They will be lost because they never learned how to be comfortable with less. They will look for someone who is calm in the center of the storm. They will look for someone who doesn't panic when the shelves are empty, because that person has already found the abundance of the soul. You are that person. You are the anchor. This period of being stripped down is your training ground. Every day that you choose peace over pursuit, you are building the spiritual muscle required to carry the weight of the new world. The less you have now is the seed of the all you will soon steward. You are being taught that you are the source. If you were stripped of everything tomorrow, your home, your clothes, your name, you would still be the same radiant, powerful being of light. Once you realize that, the Matrix has no more cards to play. You have won the game by refusing to play it. You have found the kingdom within, and it is a kingdom of perfect, crystalline clarity. Now is the time to ground this frequency into your physical reality. You must realize that your comfort with less is not a temporary phase. It is your permanent throne. To seal this energy, you must stop apologizing for your absence. Stop explaining your silence to those who only understand noise. When someone asks why you've changed or why you don't do the things you used to do, let your only answer be your peace. You do not owe the world a tour of your inner sanctum. The first step in your activation is the intentional, divine purge. Go through your physical space once more. If an object carries the frequency of a version of you that was desperate, needy, or broken, release it. If a contact in your phone makes your stomach tighten with old anxiety, delete it. You are not being cold. You are being clear. You are signaling to the universe that you have the courage to maintain the space you've worked so hard to create. This is how you tell the divine that you are ready for the high-level assignments that require a focused mind. Ground yourself every morning by standing in the truth of your sufficiency. Before you check a screen, before you listen to a voice that isn't your own, sit in that less for 10 minutes. Feel the air on your skin. Listen to the hum of the silence. Remind yourself, I am the source of my own peace. I am the master of my own attention. This practice creates a spiritual fortress around your aura that no narcissist can penetrate. By the time you step out into the world, your clarity will be so dense that the chaos of others will simply bounce off you like pebbles hitting a diamond. Let us seal this transition with a declaration of sovereignty. If you are ready to claim this new life, speak these words or let them vibrate through your spirit. I recognize that my shedding is my strength. I release the weight of the world's expectations and embrace the lightness of my true self. I am no longer a slave to the hunger for more. I am filled by the divine, anchored in the void, and sharpened by the silence. My clarity is my protection. My simplicity is my power. I am a chosen one, and I have found the all in the less. It is done, and so it is. You are moving into a season where your presence will speak louder than your words ever did. People will feel a weight to your silence. They will feel a heat to your peace. This is the mark of a soul that has returned from the wilderness with the fire of truth. Do not be afraid of the gaps in your schedule or the empty seats at your table. The divine is filling those gaps with miracles that the busy can never receive. You have traded the trinkets of the Matrix for the treasures of the kingdom. If this message resonated with your soul, if you felt the frequency of this truth in your heart, then you are part of the remnant. Claim this activation right now. Write "I am clear" in the comments to anchor this vibration into the physical realm. Subscribe to this channel to stay aligned with the frequency of the chosen. Share this with one other soul who is currently feeling the pain of the stripping away. Remind them that they aren't losing their life, they are finally finding it. We see you. We know the cost of your journey, but look at the view from where you stand now. The fog is gone, the path is certain, you are comfortable with less, and finally you can see everything.
Into the light.